Hello, and welcome to Weed+Grub.
Jealous of that pie.
It's so good.
You're a pie Viking. Wait, you're having pie for dinner?
I'm having, dinner pie.
I had pie for breakfast.
You did?
Yes. I had pie for breakfast.
It's the best of any time. It's the anytime treat
Yeah.
that I don't think about pie enough.
People are talking about like airport hours, like
No.
the quarantine, the whole thing. People are like, oh, airport rules apply where you can like have a beer at 9 a.m. if you feel like it. I'm like, no, you have pie any time of the day. I had pie for breakfast. You're having pie for dinner.
It's true.
Yeah.
Like, I do always take like a shot of whiskey before I get on an airplane.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but I like a 8 a.m. bleary-eyed coconut cream order right before hitting the gate.
Oh wait, I didn't make this gallery view, so we're just. Oh, there we are. Okay.
You can
Great.
see me?
Yeah, I can see both of us now. Yeah, airport rules and pie rules apply.
It's such a great. First of all, what up, Mary Jade?
How's it going, Mike?
This is so fun. This is our first Zoom, huh?
This is it. Like I'm learning so much, and I'm actually really enjoying it.
Yeah, it's awesome. I almost said cool and awesome at the same time, and that was just cawsome.
Cawsome.
Yeah.
Crossum.
I want to keep talking pie at the top.
Yeah.
Because you made me a gorgeous, delicious coconut cream for my birthday. And then you pulled out something that I thought was so smart, so early in the game, where you were like, the problem with this is that there's only 2 of us here for your birthday. And that means within the next day or so, we're each going to have eaten half a pie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have taken my pie eating very seriously, and I finished my half of the pie this morning when I woke up, brewed a pot of coffee, and ate a piece of coconut cream pie at 8:30.
Fuck yes.
No lie.
Hell yes.
I had a call with an editor of mine, and right before I started class, I had my last class today for that course that I've been taking. I fucking housed a piece of pie. It was great.
It's so good.
And then I saw Amy Sedaris's IG post, which I had to share to my story because it's just a big, it's a woman who's like flopped her belly onto a board and is rolling it out with a pin. And I was like,
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we could smooth you out, make a quick ciabatta loaf out of that belly, out of my belly.
I am doughy. I'm full on.
Yeah, my belly button's gotten wider. I could definitely pop out some donut holes right now.
Yeah, quarantine cherubing over here, man.
Quarantine cherub. That's so gorgeous.
Welcome to Weed+Grub, everybody.
Welcome to Weed+Grub, everybody.
Ah, jeez.
Yeah, this is a podcast about comedy, cannabis, cooking, culture, and coconut cream mornings.
Yeah, man.
It's great.
It is great. I mean, that is one of the bright spots, right? Like airport rules, pie rules. There's some definite bright spots in this crazy time.
What time are we recording? 8:30, 8:43 right now?
Yeah.
And I just polished off a hunk, and I feel great about it.
You had pie for dinner.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that.
And I'm going to have popcorn for dessert.
Oh, my God.
Just a huge fucking bowl of popcorn while I watch Tiger King with you.
Yeah.
And that's dessert.
I have an entire California kitchen pizza that I'm not going to give any to you of.
Yeah.
Like, I'm eating an entire pizza to myself.
If
I'm going to like...
I love the idea. Yeah, that's so funny. Like airport rules for the morning, slumber party rules for night.
Yep.
That's where we at.
Speaking of slumber parties, we heard from our friend Jordan about a Nair incident following your sharing of your Nairing in our last episode that
Please, let's read.
I hope
Can
it's
we
okay
read?
that we are talking about it here.
Can we read it?
Yeah.
Okay, to catch everyone up, if you haven't listened to last episode, I nared my whole body, including my butt crack, and it was one of the worst experiences of my life. Just to put a pin in that.
It was, oh wait, hang on a second. I can't remember which account it's in. So you said, like, basically, I have heard back from some people who really resonated with the fact that I was angry about having ever been asked to shave any part of my body as a woman. Like, societally, the pressure that was put on me at a very young age when I was like 12 or 13 to all of a sudden like shave my legs, shave my underarms, and then eventually my bikini line, all that kind of stuff that I kind of went on a rant about in the last episode. And I've heard back from a bunch of people who are like, fucking preach. Like, yes,
real
that's
talk.
Fucked.
I shaved my eyebrows when I used to work at Spencer Gifts before I got fired for stealing eye patches. I shaved my eyebrows. And so if you're watching the Zoom, you can see, maybe there's a way I could like edit them out or something, but you look so Cro-Magnon when you lose your eyebrows. Like your brow just gets deeper and your eyes sink back in more naturally because you don't have this little awning of hair right here.
Yeah.
And I looked crazy, and nobody could really put a finger on why my face looked so fucking weird to them.
Yeah.
Until I was like, I don't have eyebrows. And they're like, what the fuck? And then I like did it right before dinner, and then I came downstairs and ate spaghetti, acting like I hadn't done it just to see what my parents would say. And they were like, what the fuck?
Yeah, they were mad, right?
Oh, Michael, what the hell? You know that they're not going to...
You look crazy.
Crazy.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay, so you were talking about naring your butthole and how it singed and hurt.
It was awful.
So our friend Jordan wrote and said, your bit about shaving, my mom was also like, you don't really need to when I was like 11 or 12, but I wanted to fit in with my friends who did it, but she wouldn't teach me. So I went to a sleepover with a bunch of girls, and we used her sister's Nair on my legs, and I had the worst allergic reaction. My legs were burning and bleeding all night, and the Nair smelled, so everyone made me sleep in a different room and called me Reeker, which is just kids, man. All night. My mom was sad. Like, that emoji, face bomb. Mm-hmm. Oh my God.
It's so sad.
She said, I literally told my boyfriend this story recently out of some still latent trauma from that night, what I would do to tell poor little Jordan not to do it. Like, if you are someone who has, if you're around young women, like, maybe talk them into like just bucking that system now.
Do it.
Why bother? Don't. Like, I am so conditioned that I feel weird even like in this self-isolation time. I'm like, oh God, I haven't shaved my legs. Don't start them off like that. Like, you don't need to. You're perfect. Your little golden hairs or whatever kind of hair you have on your legs, they're fine.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm part of the sort of like the Irish hair belt. I had like Frida Kahlo eyebrows, and really, I wish I had it.
Absolutely. Like, I remember we made fun of girls who had like thick hair on their arms. Mm-hmm. We ripped them to shreds, and it made us feel so much better about our tiny dicks and like cracking voices.
It's crazy. I mean, I have some friends who like would do depilatory cream on their faces and their arms and all this kind of stuff, and it's really crazy because now there's all these amazing, have you seen some of these influencers who are embracing, there's a really famous model right now who has a unibrow that's beyond, like, she's actually
like an Anthony Davis one from the Lakers.
Oh, I don't know.
Some people who are listening will say yes.
Sorry everyone, I don't know what he looks like, but does he have like super all like straight across?
Yeah.
This gal is just like, and then there's an influencer who is like glamming a beard with the feminine look as well. Like, it's just, hair is awesome. Like, your beard gets so much love.
It's crazy. Yeah, everyone should. If you rock it. Rock it. Yo, awesome. I love this. This is a great start. I feel wonderful right now talking to you about this because like there's no pie shaming and there's no hair shaming.
No shaming whatsoever at any time ever from anyone ever again would be my wish for the universe.
But I will shame one person. Let's get into marijuana moment and talk about cannabis news right fucking now.
Gazette news. This is one person who deserves shaming.
Yeah.
Let's
Who's
get into
this motherfucker?
So Kyle Turley is a football player, and let's pull up the story so you can just read a little bit about it because it's reported by Marijuana Moment. And
basically, Kyle Turley is a liar who needs to fuck off. Did I read it right?
Oh God,
no.
Kyle Turley is just fucking irresponsible. Former NFL player Kyle Turley believes, evidently, that CBD can prevent and cure coronavirus, and he is shilling for his own his line.
Yeah, his CBD company. He's like, buy from me. I'll mail you free CBD if you have coronavirus to cure you. Let me help you. And he's just using this global fucking horrific catastrophic plague to
make a
fucking buck.
And like, whether or not he actually believes this, it's not fucking backed up by science. There has been absolutely no research to support this at all, and he is being fucking irresponsible and playing with people's lives. And actually, my favorite tweet in response to him was from Jake Brown, who's an amazing cannabis advocate. Everyone should follow him at the fake Jake Brown, or it's just at fake Jake Brown with an E. Brown has an E. And he said, people have given their lives for this plant, spent decades behind bars to make sure people had cannabis, all for clowns and carpetbaggers like Kyle Turley to say ignorant shit like this. You're not wanted. This isn't a game. You can leave now. Yeah.
Preach, Jake.
Yeah. Seriously. It's just, one of the most irresponsible things to play on people's fears and vulnerabilities right now in this insane fucking time to say, buy my CBD product and it will help you stay healthy.
Right.
Yeah. just no.
Especially when Trump said that thing about some chemical or something, and then somebody tried it and then they passed.
It's it's also used as an aquarium cleaner, and a husband and wife, and I think somewhere took
right.
it, and he died.
Yeah.
It's fucked.
Let's go, Kyle.
He's been like approached by people asking him to shut it down, and he's been like completely defiant. And he said, there's a quote here that says he welcomes FDA action, saying, "Please come shut my company down so I can have another blockbuster press release on how the FDA and the United States government is suppressing truth."
Right, but a press release that puts your name in the paper doesn't mean you sell product. It just means that people are going to look to you as a fucking fool who you should steal. Like, this is the opposite of how you should get work done.
Just incredibly irresponsible. Any cannabis advocate, anyone who truly believes in the power of the plant would absolutely not support this, and he can take a long fucking walk off a short pier.
Yo,
so
can we get back to celebration?
Yes, let's get back to good stuff.
It's a national holiday, right?
Yes.
Okay, let's shout out some positivity, some non-turly positivity.
Hell yes. So it is Transgender Day of Visibility today. And we've just got so many amazing friends of the pod in the trans community.
Yep.
Shout out to all of you. It's incredible to see the community get more and more attention and love, and especially to have a day that I didn't actually know about, the Transgender Day of Visibility, to support the community. And I just want to read a little bit from this post of this wonderful person in one of the groups that I'm in on Facebook.
Oh,
I don't
lovely.
want to necessarily mention their name because it's a closed group. So,
okay.
But they say, first, visibility is not a requirement of being trans. Many trans people decide not to disclose the fact that they're trans to people, usually for safety reasons. Being trans means fearing for your safety a lot. As a cis, that is non-trans person, you can make the world safer for us by dismantling transphobia in your home, community, and circle of friends. Being trans is not a pathology or illness. We're not deviants or predators. Being our friends and speaking up for us when we're not around is the strongest statement you can make. And then they share a picture of themselves and they're like, here's me. And in the picture before transitioning, they look haunted. And in the picture afterwards, they look just happy and at peace. And it's just a beautiful photo representation of just what it means to be well.
The glow up is real inside and out.
Yeah, it's fucking cool. So shout out to all our trans friends.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. There is it's nice to do this podcast with you when I can grab onto little glistens of starlight and hold on to them tightly, because I think I've been pretty sad, upset, scared, triggered, angry, famished, washing too many dishes and being like, Jesus Christ, when will this end?
Yeah.
But to be able to do this podcast with you and be able to celebrate these little moments of stardust make my life tolerable right now. And I think tolerable is really all that I can ask for myself.
That's lovely. Thank you. You make this tolerable for me too. My hamster wheel of anxiety has been, that little hamster has been running hard, and I'm close to an extreme of something at all times. Like I feel like I'm always just on the verge of, flipping a little bit, and this just calms me and gives me a place to breathe and kind of commune with you and I don't know, all of our friends that we've made through this podcast. Like talking to my best friend as our guest today.
Isn't that wild? I feel
so cool.
Fucking back. We'd never met until this episode.
Yeah.
And so to meet through Zoom on pod and get to know the dynamic between you two. I mean, you came out swinging, Mary Jane. You were like, I used to hate you. And it was like, oh my God.
Oh, Allison, I'm so sorry. She had no idea. I was just jealous. We'll get to Allison, our wonderful guest, my best friend, who Zoomed with us, and we made a video version of this for anyone who's just listening to this. You can, make faces at me through Zoom. You can check this episode out on YouTube as well. We're going to post it. Are you going to post it on your YouTube? I'm
going to post it on my YouTube, I believe. Either way, the link is in the show description. Okay. I don't want to make promises until I learn what the promise is.
Right.
Yeah.
Maybe it'll be on Vimeo. We don't know.
Let's put it on OnlyFans. Let's put it on Pornhub.
Ooh. And
why not?
Patreon.
And Patreon.
Let's start a Patreon.
It's
a weird time to start anything like that.
Let's talk about starting a Patreon.
Okay. Let's talk about it. For a long time.
Excuse me. I'm so sorry.
No worries.
I don't have it. That was pie. I had pie stuck in my throat.
You inhaled some pie cream?
Yeah, I had cream all over my throat. We've all been there one way or another, and we've had cream throat, and I have it right now.
Yeah.
I'm good.
Okay, you're good.
Yeah.
Okay. Before we get to introducing Allison, can we do Buds of the Week?
Yeah, let's do some Buds of the Week.
Yes.
First or second? Or this is a joint one.
It's a joint one. Hey. Oh, and for anyone wondering why we're not smoking right now, normally we would be enjoying like some beautiful flower or something. I'm not smoking right now.
Fuck no.
I have been enjoying Jumbo, which is this incredible tincture that we have access to here in our amazing legal markets of California.
Yeah.
And edibles I think are the way to go right now.
Here's the ones you were talking about.
Edibles, tinctures. Oh yeah, Kikoko. And also, can you grab the other one? To show off, Kikoko cannabis-infused mints. These are great because they're really, the labeling actually calls them little helpers, which I really like. They're so low dose. They're microdose of, these are 3 milligrams of CBD and 1 milligram of THC, and the Satori package of the strawberries too. We have a bounty. We're so lucky here. It's really lovely. So these are great because they're super, super, super low dose to the point I don't even notice. I just feel a little better when I have one in the morning.
Like a night where it's a full moon and you're just like, oh, something's kicking.
Yeah, something just is like a little load off. And
why don't they have an edible called Full Moon? Because it's just like a little tug on your shoulder being like, I'm here for you.
Oh, I like that.
Come on. Do I have to do everything?
Jesus, Mike. I know. It's just, you're such a heavy lifter. And then they also have these, which are 5 milligrams of CBD and 2.5 milligrams of THC. I really like them. I like what they do. They also make teas. And then Satori, who are fucking awesome, are putting out these amazing fast-acting cannabis-infused strawberries and blueberries covered in chocolate.
Yeah.
Which is so nice because you can have a handful for a little more of a dose, or you can, just have one, like a little treat. I just really like everything they do. So,
which actually leads into our bud of the week. One of them is Peak Extracts.
Yes.
Yeah, so follow Peak Extracts on Instagram at Peak Extracts. That's it.
Great. And we have a great interview. We interviewed them for an episode. You can check them out. Kate and Katie are the team at Peak Extracts, and they are, I think, the only female cannabis extract company. Yeah. Female-owned and operated cannabis extract company.
Absolutely.
Definitely only one in Oregon.
And which is where they're based. So if you live in Portland, Oregon, that's where they are. I guess legally you could get their stuff all over Oregon.
Yeah.
Great,
yeah,
because
there are a bunch of different places.
Since I'm not smoking right now and you're not smoking right now, they have dynamite, edibles, tinctures. We toured their chocolate factory. I felt like I was Augustus Gloop, ready to dive into a barrel full of fun.
That's awesome.
So, and then they have something, Rescue Rub, which I gave to my dad, because my dad, who comes up later in this episode in a less positive way.
Very unsavory. Sorry, Steve.
But I gave him the Rescue Rub because he broke his ankle, and he's been doing acupuncture and all kinds of things. And the Rescue Rub helped him a shitload. And they have something else coming out too, yeah?
It's the Rescue Rub, but it's a hemp sourced CBD Rescue Rub, so you'll be able to get it no matter where you live. Their stuff is awesome. They're just amazing, both of them, and doing great stuff. Follow them, yeah.
Fuck yeah. And the way we met them is our second bud of the week this week.
Zoe Wilder, who... I don't know what we would do without you, Zoe. Like, you're such a friend and a fucking, like, tireless champion of everything that's happening in the cannabis world and the psychedelic world and, like, everything good, just connecting all of the wonderful people. We would have been at South by Southwest with
because
Zoe,
of her.
And because of Zoe.
She was the one who was like, you all should fuck with this and go. And then we got in and we were like, Zoe. And she was like,
Yeah. So, I don't know.
Zoe Wilder, at Zoe Wilder. Zoe is Zoe Wilder. If you've seen the movie Van Wilder, don't write Van, write Zoe, but it's the same number of letters as Van. Zoe, VAN is the first part, Wilder is the second. Quick, easy way to remember that.
Follow her because she will connect you with stuff that you didn't know that you needed to know about, but now you'll feel cooler because you know about it.
Damn right. That's kind of everything.
Yeah.
It's my dream just to work with my friends for the rest of my life, and so far, so good.
It's going well.
I mean, shit, you worked with Alison for how many years?
Yeah, so our guest today.
Yeah, our VIB.
Alison Darcy, our VIB, very important bud. I met when I went to the National Theatre School of Canada in Montreal. And
shit. Come on.
Oh, is the cat going to come up on your lap?
This might be a Zoom
Bobo.
first where Bobo jumps on my lap and people can see it.
Come on, buddy.
Or they're going to yell at each other.
The cat is fighting with the dog. Okay. Well, that's par for the course. Alison and I met at the National...
VIB, very important Bobo.
He's disrupting my intro.
Sorry.
Dude,
I'll shut up.
Mike is so into you, Bobo.
I love that cat so much.
So into their cat.
It's awesome.
You got a thing?
I do have a
You
thing.
guys have a thing?
When you were like, "Hey, do you want to quarantine together?" I was like, "What was Bobo want me?"
What's Bobo doing?
What's Bobo
I was like
doing?
hanging out with you in the living room while I watch movies and eat my entire pizza. Bye.
Yeah.
Okay, so Allison and I went to theater school together in Montreal, and then we didn't even get into it in this episode. We've just done so much stuff since then. We lived in London together. We lived in Dublin together. She's traveled the world. We've stayed super close. She directed a show that I made when I was living in Seattle with my friend Nicole.
What was the name of it?
Burning Cage.
Award-winning show. Toured
Yeah.
all over the country
Yeah.
and back and Canada.
And Allison is now working in Montreal and an award-winning director and actor and just all-around fucking cool human who I love so much. And she's so game and so fun. And I don't know, it was just like the best sort of like outcome to have to be like, oh no, we need to record remotely. Well, I guess that means we can talk to people who live far, far away.
Finally.
So let's talk to my friend Allison.
Yo, blessings today. There are some blessings. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And that also means we might be able to talk to some people who we've been DMing with for quite a long time. And now, the technology is here.
Yeah.
I would like to give one special shout out before we get to Allison's interview to Mary Jane Gibson, because we wouldn't be doing Zoom right now. We wouldn't be recording right now, except she figured out how to do all of this and then risked her life by going to get a headphone splitter from Best Buy so that we could record and we could make this possible. And so I want to give a very special Bud of the Week yell to my co-host Mary Jane, who is the one who figured all of this out.
Thanks, Mike. That's my cheeks are hot.
Cherubic.
Yeah. My chubby cheeks are feeling fleshed.
Yo, okay, shall we get to it?
Let's get to it. This is us hanging out with my very best friend, Alison Darcy.
Here we go.
Yay!
Hi.
Oh no, my chair is super squeaky.
That's
Hi.
okay. Hi. Welcome to Weed and Grub, everybody.
Yeah, what up, everyone? We got an amazing guest today. Please take it away, Mary Jane.
Well, listen, everything's crazy. I'm so glad you could join us. This is Allison, my best friend in the whole world.
Hi.
And you guys are meeting for the first time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hi.
Hey, Mike.
And
I've been
Allison,
hearing so much about you, Mike.
Likewise, I've heard a ton about you, and I'm really excited to get to know you a little bit more right now, because everything I've heard, I'm like, ooh, she sounds cool as fuck. And now I get to hear, I don't know, it's nice to see what your face looks like.
Well, you know, Jane, she has this ability to magically describe people. She describes people with such beauty that it's an old skill of hers that I've noted since the beginning, that when she talks about people that she loves, they sound phenomenal.
Oh.
Not that they aren't, but you always do make people sound so amazing.
well, the truth is that
Yes, I call her Jane. Sorry.
Yeah, that's right. I'm just Jane to you. That's right. I'm because I really only became Mary Jane full time. Kind of I guess when we were in theater school together is when I really started.
Yeah, right at the end of it, but I never
Yeah.
got used to it.
Wait,
Just Jane.
You changed your full-time name?
Well, I was Mary Jane always, to my dad,
Yeah.
but Jane to everyone else. And so when I went to theater school and Allison and I met in Montreal, I was Jane. And then when I graduated, I decided that Mary Jane was one. I wanted to be that.
Because you get so mad when people call you Mary.
But I've never been Mary. I've been Jane and I've been
Oh,
Mary
no,
Jane.
Mary.
Yeah, no.
But it's okay to call you Jane?
She's not a Mary at all.
I'm not a Mary. I'm not a Mary. Although we did play a fun game the other night where your coronavirus quarantine name was the last thing you ate and your high school mascot. And I don't have a high school mascot, but I went
No,
to
me neither.
Well, I went to Holy Heart of Mary, and so we decided that my quarantine nickname is Cream Pie Mary.
Oh, Jane.
Which I thought was
that's
pretty
brutal.
good. And what was yours, Mike?
Pie Viking.
Pie Viking. I mean, that's hot, right?
Yeah, actually, Pie Viking's pretty hot.
That's pretty
I
hot.
gotta see but the cream. What was the cream cake Holy Heart? What was
It was
the Holy Heart of my cream cake?
Cream pie was the last thing I ate, and Mary was I didn't have a mascot, so it was just Holy Heart of Mary.
Cream
It
cake
was
Mary, right.
Cream Pie Mary.
So I went to an all-girls school called Trafalgar. So then I think about maybe in the Trafalgar Square in London, there's that the Nelson statue, right? So
Yeah.
maybe that's my mascot. And
Sure.
the Nelson.
Yeah.
And then the last thing I ate... Ian, what was the last thing I ate? I have no idea.
Was it
I have
Ian?
no idea. Yeah, it was...
Was it challah?
No, we're making challah right now. Challah! I'm like, challah. I've never actually made bread before.
Wow.
I feel like I'm so the frontier woman right now, man. I made like Purell. I made Lysol wipes.
Yeah,
Whoa.
let's fucking get into this because this is okay. So first off, this is the first time we've ever done a remote podcast. You're our very first remote podcast guest.
Oh my
Yeah,
god.
we're breaking all kinds of barriers here. This is
Yeah.
the first time we've
Nice,
screen
nice.
recorded as well, so we're going to upload this to YouTube so people will be able to see our conversation.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you might be our first international guest
Yes.
because you're in Montreal.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So many firsts.
I know.
I know. We're
I don't
all
think
kind of
I've
cream
been
pie
anywhere-
Marys.
I was about to say I don't think I've ever been anyone's first before, so
Ooh.
I feel good.
You're Weed and Grub's first, baby. But yeah, you were saying to me that you were a frontier woman because you're like up there, you're baking bread, you are making your own hand sanitizer, you are waiting for government weed to be delivered to the door. Is that
Wait,
correct?
what?
Yeah.
Yes. Yep. Yeah.
Okay, so for all of our listeners who have no fucking idea what that might mean, can you break that down, please?
Well, in Canada, the government is in charge of our legal weed distribution. So, just like they are in charge of our liquor. So we have liquor stores called the SAQ, and we also have pot stores. And then, so you can go to the store, but you can also get that delivered through Canada Post, through the mail. So, especially now with coronavirus, like, I mean, you'll see, like, some of the biggest lineups in Canada right now are in front of the marijuana store. But, yeah, we ordered it online through Canada Post. So now, you know, my boyfriend's just been waiting at the door like your little dog. Just every time there's a crack outside, he's just like...
Is the weed here? Is my government weed here?
Yeah. So do they drive up
Yeah.
in like an unmarked van and squeal the tires to a halt and get out the back and yell "go go go" and then knock on your door and leave a little gift and then run back in the van?
I mean, no, it's like straight up like postman in his little shorts and like do you know, have a good day, ma'am. You
Pot
know,
man.
here's your marijuana.
That's amazing. Does he say?
I think honestly, I think they usually just give you a slip and then you have to go to the post office to pick it up just because, you know, it's like a package. But yeah.
Voici votre. In French, what do you guys call weed in French?
Marijuana.
Le marijuana. Voici
Le
voilà
marijuana.
votre. Yeah, awesome. That's crazy.
Marijuana.
So you're getting
Yeah,
$8,000 for the next 4 months, and the government is delivering weed to your door.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Oh my
I mean,
god!
why did I ever think that it was a good idea to leave Canada? Why am I here in this crazy hellscape?
Yeah.
I'm out.
I'm like,
Out. Fucking.
Oh, Michael.
oh, he's gone. We lost him.
Also,
It's just us.
Also, yes, like all of our healthcare is free, and our prime minister actually self-isolated because there was a chance that his wife might have gotten it. So
Yeah.
they self-isolated immediately, so he's clear, and he hasn't been mentioning anything about like how many people have been watching his newscasts. Like that's insane.
Yeah.
Trump's like, I'm getting more people than the Bachelor finale. Like, oh my god.
It's a very
It's
fucking
so
strange
crazy.
reality. It's a fucking strange reality
It's so-
for sure.
oh,
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, no. I mean, look, we have our problems, but
Like what? It's not always Friday.
Everyone's too nice.
Yeah.
I know. Well, I mean, it snows. It's cold.
Yeah.
But actually, with global warming's fixing that too. So I don't know, man. It's
Well,
kinda
you're
getting
welcome.
fixed.
Wow.
Listen,
Yeah.
what
Thanks
about
to you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm here for
Our
you.
polar bears are like dying. Thank you.
I want to know about this DIY hand sanitizer situation and your frontier woman skills. What's up with that?
I mean, it's just straight up like aloe vera and rubbing alcohol, but you know, just like in the right proportions. I mean, I called it Dr. Jonesy's homemade hand sanitizer. 'Cause
Oh.
my cat is Jonesy. And so that's Jonesy's hand sanitizer, and and the Lysol wipes, honestly, it's rubbing alcohol, a little bit of dish soap, water
On like
and
what? A
then
Kleenex?
Yeah, no, paper towels, and then you just like put them in a Tupperware.
I'm doing that.
It's really that easy. I mean, the only thing is that the paper towels tend to kind of disintegrate a bit, so you kind of have to use 2 rather than 1.
Oh,
per
well, I saw a recipe for homemade toilet paper the other day. Mm-hmm. Did you see that?
Yeah, it's like, what is it, my left?
Is it your hand?
Yeah, right? Yeah. It's a
pan of water. A pan of water in my left hand. No, it was like you take a window screen and then you like take a bunch of magazine pages and you soak them in water and then you grind them into pulp and then you lay them over the screen and then you dry that and then you can use that as toilet paper. Or you could just like,
That's how you make paper.
Yeah. Wait, but you need to take magazine paper to make new paper?
Toilet paper.
That's the idea?
Yeah, or newspaper.
I know. Why don't you just wipe your ass with a magazine?
Yeah.
We've been talking a lot about pooping on here since we've been quarantined, and I think it's because I'm just so aware of my body and my, like, you know, I'm my soul cage is what I've been calling it. Like, you know, I'm just like, oh, here I am trapped in this house and then trapped in this house in this body. Like, I cannot. Yeah. Yeah, kind of obsessed.
Soul cage. Yeah, that's good actually. It's really bringing out the depth in you.
I'm feeling deep, man. I'm feeling real deep. Oh man, so you and I have known each other for fucking forever. We hated each other for a week
93.
and then fucking crazy.
We hated each other for a week?
I hated you for the first week at theater school.
I heard about that.
Yeah.
No, you. What?
Yeah, I was jealous of you. You were like so cool. And then I was
Fuck you. We sat together in the orientation and you were wearing that like the hat from Peru or Guatemala or whatever.
Oh, so obnoxious.
And we were like both wearing our like combat boots and we like immediately hit it off, and from then on we were like having lunch together every day. You hated me?
No, you're insane. We didn't get along for the first week at all, and then there was something that happened. Maybe it was like story time or whatever that thing with Sherry B was, and we went to something together, and I remember we sat down and we had coffee afterwards at an Ale Van Hoot, and I was like, oh, this is cool, we're gonna be friends. But the whole first week we hated each other. Or I hated you, and you didn't know.
We didn't hate each other.
Sounds like a good actor.
I didn't fucking know anything about this until right today. Like today I learned that my best friend hated me. So
well, I was threatened and jealous. Awesome. What can I say? I thought you were so fucking cool.
Yeah. How was I fucking cool, man? Like my eyebrows were like caterpillars. I was brutal. I was so insecure. No,
not true. You smoked weed. You wore combat boots and leggings. You smoked cigarettes too.
That's
we
cool.
smoked cigarettes.
But so did you. You did all those things.
That's true. Remember when we were at theater school and we used to smoke cigarettes between classes, like on our way from movement to voice? We would stop in the hallway
like
and smoke
full
cigarettes.
On, like movement class.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Wild.
Wow.
Yeah.
And like whenever we were doing a scene, we'd like find a way to make sure that the characters are smoking, because then you could smoke in class.
So smart.
We'd always like be doing all that New York stuff, you know, because it's all gritty.
Method acting.
Acting. Oh, did you ever tell Mike about our clown?
Oh, yeah, we did an amazing clown act when we were third year theater school, where I zipped Alison full body into a hockey bag and dragged her out, and then we did this whole fucking clown routine that was like pretty amazing. Yeah, it was great. You fit your whole body in that bag.
Ability. I know. I had this weird ability back then to be able to fit my body in really small places, and I don't have that ability at all anymore. But like, I got into this bag that really didn't look like it could hold a human, and she pulled it out, and she's like wearing this little tutu, and I'm all squeezed in there, and then she's like, oh, it was to that song from not Pulp Fiction, the
that's Pulp Fiction, yeah. That is Pulp Fiction.
Okay,
yeah.
The John Travolta Uma Thurman dance number where they get the milkshake.
I guess so. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
the only scene without Uma's feet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What? Did he have a thing for her feet?
Ugh, he has a thing for everyone's feet.
Please don't let me derail you with my Quentin Tarantino foot fetish
No,
rants.
I'm fascinated. I actually just watched Hollywood there. Well, anyways, so she like she starts the music, she's dancing around, she unzips the bag, and I like pop out, and I'm totally thinking everyone's gonna be like, ooh, and I just remember these like completely puzzled looks on their faces, like, what the fuck, you were in that bag? And then Were you chasing me around with a whip, or was I chasing you around with a whip?
I think I was. I don't.
You
remember.
were chasing me.
Yeah,
I think you were chasing me. And they're like da, 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 doing this weird chase around like I'm a lion or something. And then after, like we're like da, and I just remember like, just everyone's just like.
Yeah, there was
one
no
guy in the back of the room, just like
slow clap. We got a lot of those. I feel like we came up with a lot of that.
The slow clap duo.
Yeah, there was one guy in our class who went real far. Do you remember when Keith ate that fucking heart out of the dish soap at Self Start? Which Self Start was like our cabaret thing where we would all do whatever it was that we'd made ourselves, and he reached into
a heart made out of.
It was a heart. He bought a heart at the butcher shop, and he put it in a bucket full of blood and dish soap to make it look super goopy, and he ate the heart on stage. You don't remember that?
I love how much bad art is allowed when you go to theater school.
I mean, he didn't eat the whole thing, but he like bit into it.
Who the fuck cares?
Yeah, exactly. He also rolled himself up in a rug to Smashing Pumpkins' Melancholy and the Infinite Sadness with dirt. Yeah. Like, oh my God, so much experimenting.
Yeah. Oh man.
We did so much experimenting.
I think it's great. It's easy to make fun of, but I like it because it's like you're free to figure it the fuck out, and that's so nice. But that shit is whack.
Yeah, the further you go, though, the more interesting and weird like you can be.
Yeah.
But you got to push boundaries when you're in theater school. You have to make bad shit.
Yeah.
How else are you going to know what's good,
Exactly.
Oh, and I remember like full on many, many, many times being in the middle of some kind of exercise and just kind of suddenly remembering where I was and looking around and just thinking I was in a fucking insane asylum and just like, how is this a thing and how am I here and this is fucking crazy and get me out of here, and then I just fall right back into it again. It was such a bizarre experience. Do you remember getting really, really high and watching My Dinner with Andre?
Yeah. Yes.
I feel like that's like pretty universal.
It's the only way to see it.
Yeah.
But we just did our Grotowski period in class, and that whole story is about Andre working with the Grotowski people. Basically, he doesn't say Grotowski, but it's exactly that story. And I remember we were high and we were just listening to him describing this like cult, basically.
Yeah.
With the chanting and the dancing.
The theater cult.
And I was like, we just paid to do that.
Yeah. You like get high in the woods and dance around for 3 years and make 5 minutes of theater that no one ever watches. Like it's fucking nuts, but it's awesome. But Mike's done. I mean, I gotta call you out for some of the cool like theater stuff you've done. Like you did that weird thing where you ate ghost peppers on stage.
Yeah, I loved. I was just looking at that review today from the LA Weekly. My favorite headline ever from LA Weekly that for a show I created was, in this show, somebody breakdances, somebody plays violin, and somebody might vomit. And that's like my favorite headline I've ever gotten. Yeah, totally.
And how did you handle it? How did it go?
The show?
No, the ghost pepper.
Oh, well, okay. So the scene was it was this like weird breakdancing live music sketch stand up fucking show. I don't know how you describe it, but the interstitials between setups, we would play a scene from Breaking Bad where they're all sitting around the table with a bunch of food and a bunch of wine, and it's a very tense, emotionally resonant scene. And we played that scene throughout each setup before the lights came on for the next scene, and then our final scene, that Breaking Bad scene played out and the lights came up on us at the table, and then we recreated that scene, but instead of all of that food, it was like ghost peppers in a salad bowl, a wine glass full of hot sauce. Instead of a big beautiful steak, we just had jalapenos laid out across the thing, and we word for word, bite for bite, piece for piece tried to recreate the scene, and it just got hotter and hotter and worse, and we're just pounding the table and crying and trying not to puke while I'm trying to pretend I'm Walt. And it was awesome.
Oh my god. So did you throw up?
Every night, which was the best because you got to go there.
Once?
Oh, we got an extended sold out run. Like the show like ran forever.
Committed to the art.
Well, now you could be on you could at least do the Hot Wings show now, and you could be like,
yeah, I would love that.
Rock it.
That would be awesome. Yeah,
really?
I'd be like, this little piece of shit? Fuck y'all. Come on, Sean Evans.
I straight up can't do like sriracha. Like I can do like a little like, ooh, it's a little sriracha, but like that's me. I'm like limit.
Yeah.
No spice, no ability.
Well, I mean, so I make myself puke from hot stuff, and you fit in tiny spaces. I mean, we all have our skill sets.
Yeah, what's my deal? I can eat everything. I have no limits. I'm limitless, literally.
You're good with a whip. You're
Yeah.
good with a whip.
Yeah, I'm good with a whip.
Yeah.
I do.
You hate your best friend secretly.
I was just jealous. You were so cool, and you
I
were
was
like
so not. Please.
you were so fucking cool. I was from Newfoundland, and you were like this cool Montreal fucking cosmopolitan, amazing artist, and you'd like already done all of this work. You were like already fucking a big deal. It was so cool to meet you, and I was like,
You're so cute trying to make this like not bad, but like.
Wait, what's your deal, Allison? I know that you directed Mary Jane in some seminal shows for her, but did you go to did you go to school for this theater school for directing, or how did you find your deal?
Well, actually, my family's in it too. So both my parents started theater companies here in Montreal, like English theater companies, which is, kind of unheard of back in the day. Not a huge audience for it, but it was needed at the time. And those theaters are still running now, actually. And so I started acting professionally when I was like 8, and started doing like theater and then very quickly film. And so I was one of those young actors, just like
you and Mary
We were
Jane,
both,
yeah.
like,
well, I don't know.
Yeah.
You were like fucking. I mean, Sarah Benincasa actually shouted out on Twitter recently. She was like, "I missed that movie, The Peanut Butter Solution." And I was like, "My friend was the star of that movie." And then we had a whole back and forth on Twitter. Yeah, she was a fucking child star in Canada in a fucking great movie.
No, man. I know.
Yes.
Like one movie. That's not just to make you a star. Anyway, it was.
Man, y'all are so
crazy
Canadian, it's
movie.
driving me nuts. It's
No,
unreal.
you.
No, you're cute. You're pretty. No, okay. So, so the movie has actually become now like a weird cult film that actually predominantly stoners enjoy. It's a super trippy film. It was originally made for kids. It should not be viewed by children. And all these people who saw it back in the day think of it as that they had a bad dream, and they get really freaked out when they realize it was actually a movie. You guys should watch it. Actually, it's
I would watch that.
Really, it's totally disturbing. Actually, a woman from Seattle has just made a little documentary about the making of it. She came up and interviewed us. It was so bizarre, kind of going back through all that.
Amazing.
But anyway, so I was doing that kind of stuff, and then got into theater school with Janie, and then after that I was just acting until about 2000 when we were living in London. We lived together in Ireland for a month, but then in London for a couple of years. And then in 2000, I moved back here and started directing. And then in 2002, 2001, I met my kind of artistic partner, who's still my artistic partner here. His name's Joseph. And we started a theater company together in like 2006 called Scapegoat Carnivale. And we still run it. So I'm a artistic directors, and I direct and act. And then he's a writer. And then now we've also both started, like he started directing a little bit and co-directing with me, and I've started writing with him. And we're really kind of pushing our boundaries. And then we produce, and now we're starting to figure out how to tour. Although I think our first gigs, which we were planned to go to New York in August, is now not going to happen.
Yeah.
Bummer.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I can't wait until you do tour, because the show that you were going to tour was Sapientia, right?
Yeah.
Which is award winning.
Yeah, but it's like it's a object theater piece. Do you know what object theater is, Mike?
Don't actually. What is it?
I
can guess.
What it sounds like, which is basically, like you have objects and they become the puppets, like it sounds really stupid, but it's actually really fun and kind of an interesting way of looking at a story in a contemporary
like you're giving voice to the unvoiced, and giving like a personality and character to a cup of water and what that means and what it looks like. Fucking cool.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And it's interesting because the choice of object per character or for moments, or it's very telling, and you're getting a lot of information not just about the play but about the way you understand objects and how that informs you. So those choices are really important. And so that we have this weird old play. It was written by the first female playwright. Her name is Roswitha of Gandersheim.
Jesus.
She's from like Germany, like 900, and she was this like weird religious zealot, and she wrote this play. And it's like this woman and her 3 children go and confront like Hadrian, the Roman emperor, and they're like, you should convert to Christianity, and he's like, screw you, become Roman, followers of the Roman thing. And he basically tortures these children in front of her, and they're all like loving it.
Really?
God, makes them feel no
Fucked
pain.
up and
they're like,
dark and weird.
They're like, flay me, and he's just like, it's horrific. And so.
Sounds like today.
Fun.
Yeah,
It
very
sounds like
relevant.
everyone who's just like at the fucking farmer's market right now while people are drowning in their own blood inside their lungs and like, we out here on spring fucking break. Like,
It's crazy.
Like, man, if I'm going to get COVID, I'm like going to get COVID, Like,
yeah.
I've been planning this March break for like a month.
Maybe even 3 weeks. Actually, I heard about it yesterday. I was like, yeah, that sounds tight.
On the object theater tip, do you think that's like when people name their bongs and stuff, like when people like they have those like cherished objects, and I'm a member of
anthropomorphizing things.
Yeah, like I'm a member of a bunch of like weed groups on Facebook, and it's a lot of like, I just got this new piece and I named it Mr. Choppy, whatever, and I'm like, oh,
Mr. Choppy.
that's sweet, chop it up.
Yeah.
Well,
wait, can we do one?
Yeah.
Can we do one right now?
You want to name a bong?
Well, I want to do an object. Like, if we're going to talk about it, let's show it. Let's do one. Can we do one, Allison? Is that cool?
Yeah, I mean, it's so funny because my object in the play is actually is like a mirror, like this. Hang on.
Ooh.
But then you'll see each other. But then she would talk like this, and her name was Sapientia, and so she's very delicate and would move and would tilt her head down and look around at things, and so that's the way she behaved. And then her daughters, who were Faith, Hope, and Charity, were these 3 little beautiful ornate teacups, which we would just like smash into bits, and inside the teacups would be like their souls.
Okay.
And, like, we'd pull it out, and one was like a raw piece of tofu, which we like put on a grill.
Ooh, yes.
Smell it, and, like, put barbecue sauce on it, and like the whole audience could smell it. And they'd be like,
That's awesome.
It sounds fucking
actually,
fascinating.
wait a minute. That totally reminds me of a play that I saw that my friends did about the guy who, you went on YouTube on Craigslist and was looking for someone to eat him, or that
To
he
eat
wanted
his
to
dick.
someone. Yeah, the guy from Germany.
Yeah.
So my friends did the play about that, and they actually got this like vegan sausage, which they cooked up on stage, like after the guy's penis gets cut off. And it was such a small space, and like, because you think it's human flesh, so I was throwing up in the corner. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
The smell of it was so pervasive. And I'm like, smell-o-vision is a real fucking thing, and we should all do smell theater. Smell theater is intense.
Fucking yeah, it is.
It makes me so excited. It's something that I've always wanted to incorporate into a piece. Like, I've always wanted to do I just got a gift from Zoom. It says, running out of time, we've removed the 40-minute time limit on your group meeting.
Ooh.
That's amazing. So we don't actually have to worry about our 40-minute time limit. Thanks, Zoom. Shout out, Zoom.
What up, Zoom?
This podcast is brought to you by Zoom.
Hey, Zoom.
Yeah.
Hey, wait, Mike. So what would your object be?
My object be for my own show? Okay, let me think for a second about that, because it makes me think about
Jane,
how
what
I had
was-
like it makes me think of how I had like a teddy bear growing up, and its name was Bear Spot, and I carried it everywhere, and I had a blanket and I had a pacifier. Like, this is a very, not regressive, but this is a very like childlike like wonder, even though you're eating the soul of a cup. Like, and I'm really into that, so I'm trying to like kind of think back to what my object would be. Give me a second, I'll be right back. I'm gonna look.
Oh, he's going to go and
Yeah,
scavenge. Okay.
What were you saying though before, Jane?
I was
I didn't mean
going to say about like smell-o-vision and smell theater that I always wanted to do a production. So one of the very first pieces of like theatrical anything that I was involved in was when I was a tiny little kid. My mom put me to get her out of her hair in a Narnia workshop. And I've always just, everyone, always loved the Narnia books. And I always wanted to make a piece of theater, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, where you go through the wardrobe and you smell the pine and like hear the crunch of snow underfoot and all that kind of stuff. Mike's over here banging the table like a lunatic.
Sorry.
Okay, you know what we should do, Jane?
Yeah.
Jane, we should do a plays. We should do like a piece together where it's experiential, you know, and I mean, is that your object, the sunglasses?
Oh, hell yeah.
But
Right?
you have to animate them off of your face. That's a
Well,
very
don't
hard
tell me what
object
to do or I'll
animate.
cross my fucking arms. Is that
Okay,
good?
cross the arms really slowly, like make them do it like.
Oh, yeah.
Fuck.
Wait, okay, will you say something like, I don't think we're going to do that idea, Mike?
Mike, I think it's a really terrible idea.
For anyone who actually can't see this, that was a great arm cross with a pair of sunglasses. Real slow, real petulant.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Y'all are idiots. You're so fucking wrong about that. Yeah. Oh, that's good,
Imagine
too.
someone actually.
If you had two
Imagine
glasses
if you
back to
said-
back, and then you could be like, and I'm here to say I make fat rhymes every day. Huh.
Arm cross. Yeah. That's great.
But I love the idea. I love the idea of someone crossing their arms in a room that slowly, like they're just like.
Yes. It's very fun.
That's so powerful in every way.
It's so good.
Where's you, Mary Jane?
Yeah. Oh, I got to go look for an object now. Okay, you guys hang out and I'll go find something. This is very visual. For anyone listening, we're having a great time.
Yeah, we are. Yeah, people are going to watch this on YouTube. To talk about
I'm
smell
so
of
excited to be
yeah.
on the show, Mike. You have no idea. I'm so excited to be on the show.
It's awesome. Like, this is so fun to do.
I've been listening since day one.
What? Get out of here.
I mean, I don't know if I heard every single episode.
I haven't
To
either.
be Canadian. To be Canadian, man, I'm gonna be honest. But I've heard a lot, and I love you guys, and I'm so honored to be on. Yay!
Thank you.
So wait, tell me about like how crazy Canadian are we?
Crazy Canadian? It just, as
Yeah,
somebody
when you're
who
like, oh, you
grew
guys are so
up.
Canadian.
Yeah, I think really what it is, and it's not fair because it's a better way of living, but as somebody who grew up raised to like say what I want, do what I say, and like let's fucking go, and you should take ownership, and it's the way I learned pride, and the way I learned how to be proud is different than Mary Jane. And so sometimes I get really frustrated at Mary Jane because she doesn't need to say it out loud like I do, and it's okay for her to like give the spotlight to other people and let her work speak for herself. And I was raised in a place of being like, yeah, but if you don't say it, how's anyone gonna know? So why are you like giving away all the power, you know? So that's what it is.
Yeah, but you know what? The truth lies somewhere like on the Canadian border for sure, because like us being this humble is like lovely as a friend, but not so great as like when you're hitting that glass ceiling, you know, like every year, and you're like, oh, I'll just be quiet and well, let someone else get their little time, you know. But then also, you know, Americans can just be like straight up like, okay, dude, you know, like let me figure out how great you are, you know, like you don't have to tell me, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, you know,
I mean,
like,
Arnold
I don't really
Schwarzenegger's our
believe
governor.
anyone.
Like,
Was, yeah.
Was,
Is he
yeah.
still?
No,
yeah,
no.
he's not still. No.
No.
Okay, yeah. Well,
But it's so interesting because I remember like being kind of trained to be allergic to people who were self-aggrandizing. Like it was not a trait that,
Absolutely.
like remember in theater school when someone got too big for their boots and we were all like, ugh, you know, so-and-so
oh
is.
yeah, but that's also because we're Gen X too. Because like our
Yeah.
generation is full on not about being like you don't stoke yourself up. You don't sell out. That's a whole other thing.
No
like,
selling
having
out.
a sponsor, you know,
No.
like ooh,
Yeah.
you know,
And it's so fucking interesting to then now
you
try
don't
to
tell people
navigate.
how much money you make. Yeah.
Nope. And now navigating the world through a whole different. Oh, Mike's leaving again. Like with a
Bye,
whole
Mike.
different fucking set of rules. Like I've had to really learn, especially like moving to the U.S. and then like having weathered like different scenes through different times. And like New York theater, downtown theater was a whole different ball of wax from like being in Los Angeles as an artist. And I do have an object though, if you guys want to see it.
Yes.
Yeah,
Get off
what's
that
the object?
train. It's a.
Oh, that's one of the objects from the play.
Oh, really?
perfect.
And then this one also does the little. It
Oh my
pops
god,
open
that's so great.
like a little lighthouse. So when you say something that shocks it, it's like. Or
or
like,
when he has an idea, it's
Yeah.
like a little light bulb over his head.
or it's like I'm coming to the rescue. Like I have an idea.
That's so cute.
That's my thing.
It's great because you can see the world through it. You can highlight things with it. You can it shows you to be like a seeker of truth, you know, but then also having this like pop-up thing,
I love it,
shows your joy, you know, and then also you can like do it to become taller, you know, than someone, and then that little button in the front is like a little nose. It's
totally
so cute.
I love that, and I love the idea of getting taller, like the sunglasses crossing its arms really slowly.
Yeah,
if this like, little flashlight believes in itself all of a sudden, and it like has that moment where it just like it's like rises to the occasion. I can do it, and then it lights up. That's fun. We should make some object theater together. I really actually, when you said like let's make something together, I have been craving like doing and making things, because you know I go to see all of these live shows all the time. Mike has an amazing show at the Hollywood Improv that's some of the best fucking cool weird shit that I've ever seen has happened on that stage, and it makes me want to make things, and I love making those things with you. So let's make things, guys.
Oh my god, I want to come there and see all your cool shit, man. Like you have this whole life in LA, and it's just like, so it sounds like, I mean, I feel like I'm imagining like a TV show when I think about your life. You know, like I see all the like the LA landmarks, and you know, like going to the Hollywood Bowl or whatever. I don't know, but like,
well, it's funny because sometimes we do talk, and you're like, your life sounds so amazing. I'm like, it's not that great, and you're like, where are you right now? And I'll be like, standing on a beach looking at Malibu, like, or you know,
yeah, or you're
at
like,
the top
I'm
of a mountain.
Hills. Yeah,
mm-hmm. Yeah, it's pretty
I'm in the
great.
Hollywood Hills, walking my little dog, and like, you know.
It's cool because when you go to Starbucks, there's always a red carpet, and people take your picture every Starbucks that you go into, and that's pretty fun.
Yeah, here you see here our Starbucks are like little igloos, and we go in and then you know like we'll get like a donut, and then we'll get a beaver tail, and then a real beaver will give us their tail.
And the seals are like a total nightmare.
Oh, are they? Is there seal parking
They're
close
everywhere.
to the door?
It's like pigeons, man, but they're just seals everywhere.
Can we start that stereotype, please?
Oh, man. And people fucking believe it. Like, there was a whole series of Rick Mercer, who's a famous comedian from Newfoundland, very famous, well-loved Canadian comedian, did a whole series called Talking to Americans, where he would just go to, like, Dallas and be like, what do you think about the Canadian government's policy of abandoning the elderly to die on ice floes? And this like nice Texan would be like, well, I think that's just awful. Like it was great. It was great because they'll believe anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're like, what do you think about the fighting, you know, between Saskatoon and the West Edmonton Mall? And they're like, oh, it's really got to stop.
Yeah. I've been keeping up on that, and as someone who reads pretty diligently about that, I think y'all should put a stop to it.
Yeah. The seal infestation in Montreal is just out of control.
Yeah.
Justin Trudeau has got to, you know, stop that
nonsense. Like when your Brita filter is just filled with maple syrup from the faucet. Like, is that how you get your water?
That is the worst. It's so cloggy.
God, I hate when that maple syrup clogs up your fucking shower faucet.
Is that, yeah.
Such a drag.
It was true, though. When I was playing hockey up in Canada, every urinal, every time I peed, it was like I had to flush maple syrup. It was the first time I ever peed in a maple syrup bowl. It was pretty cool.
I thought because you were pissing maple syrup.
Oh, yeah. Well, that too.
Yeah.
So good.
You played hockey in Canada?
I traveled up there. I played in Toronto for a couple tournaments that we were in, and it was my first strip club I ever went to because it wasn't 21 and over, and and so we got to buy a bunch of weed and go to strip clubs, and that was my first tour.
Was it called the Canadian Beaver?
Yes.
The Eager Beaver. That was the strip club in my hometown of Newfoundland. Eager Beaver. Yep.
That's a good one.
What was the one, Jane? Remember we had to go to see. We went to one when we were researching that terrible play that we did, where we were both strippers, and then we went to what was it? Pussy Core? That was it. Pussy Core.
Yeah.
The Pussy Core.
We did a play when we graduated from theater school. I, for some reason, thought that I could direct, which I immediately learned a hard lesson that I can't and I never will try again. Good to know.
You directed it.
Well, I didn't. I actually didn't direct it because I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. So, like 2 weeks in, I think someone came in and tried to fix it. I can't even remember, but it was called Never. And we agreed that we were never do it again. It was not a good play. We didn't do a good job of it. And one of the things that I remember most is that there was like a bunch of cocaine. Remember, it was like a really misogynistic, gross piece of fucking.
Oh yeah, it was strippers and coke. It was just like every like Gen X boy's wet dream. It was.
And we were like, we'll be in it. We're cool girls. We're cool 90s girls. And we both played strippers.
But we did not strip.
Didn't strip,
Not
but we did go to a lot of strip clubs to do research. We got high and went to strip clubs a lot in Montreal, which was, fun. But then I remember the cocaine that Martin Sims had to snort, and we used confectioner's sugar.
Oh, no.
Yeah, and he actually snorted it, and it made him real fucked up.
Oh, fuck.
my worst memory from that play was that, I mean, 'cause like I said, we didn't actually strip, but we had to do like sexy dances on this pole. And like, Jane, like I always say, Jane's got the Kavorka. Like, she's just like one of those people who are just like inherently sexy, and everyone who meets her is just like falls in love with her.
Oh, wow.
No, but I mean, it's for real. It's crazy. And I don't have the Kavorka, like I'm just a normal person. And so, we're doing these like dances on the pole, and she's just like effortlessly like super sexy. And I'm like, and I finally got to a point where I figured, okay, if I kind of do it comedically, I can get through it without wanting to kill myself. And so I'll just kind of make it like funny a bit, So I remember I was there doing the show one night, and I'm like, like trying to make people laugh, but also trying to be a little sexy. And I hear this laughter, and I recognize it as my friend Danny. I'm like, oh no, Danny's in the audience. So I look out, and instead of seeing Danny, I see my father's hair.
Oh.
Like, which was white and just glows in the dark, And like I didn't
Lynch.
know my dad was coming at all. And I was like in mid, like, trying to be sexy. And I just like, and I just kind of like, I don't know. I kind of bailed mid-move, And it was just one of the most awkward, embarrassing moments, I swear to God, trying to dance sexy comedically in front of your father when you're like, I hadn't even owned my own like sexiness yet. I was too young, so it was one of the most horrific moments, like just seeing his hair and being like, I'm gonna get off the stage as fast as I can. That was horrific.
Oh, Morris.
So never ever again.
Did Morris ever tell you what he thought of it?
No, he was too nice.
Yeah.
That's a good dad.
He's so nice. Morris is great.
Yeah.
Morris Bobry is an amazing human. Great. But both your parents, Alison and Morris, are like
Yeah,
wonderful humans, wonderful artists, directors.
And
I've never
actually,
worked with your mom.
our dads got to meet, finally mine and Jane's dad got to meet and hung out in South Africa.
Yeah, that was so cool.
That was so cute. I adored Jane's dad so much.
I talk about him a lot.
Was this the last time
so
you
awesome.
acted? Was when your dad saw you strip?
No, I still act. I just finished a play like a week ago.
Oh, okay. Would you want to do that one again?
No.
Never.
Never. Okay.
I remember in theater school, I think it was in Luc Verbrugge, where there was like, I had to fuck someone on a pool table or be sexy on a pool table. And Dad came to see that. And I was totally like, my dad was, very...
and he was eye level with you on the pool table. I remember that.
You made eye contact while getting railed from behind on a pool table?
Yeah, with, and if you'd known my dad, you'd know that is like not okay for anyone involved, me or my dad.
Yeah,
Nobody
I
wants
think
that.
most dads are probably like, yo.
Why did I send you to theater school? This is...
Well, you see, because at least my parents are like theater people, so they can kind of go like, all right, it's theater. But
my dad was
Jane's
like...
dad is freshwater biologist.
How was the play?
Excellent. Actually, that was one of the good pieces that I was in at theater school that I still remember as really loving.
Cool.
Yeah, Emma, right?
Yeah,
was
it was
Emma
good.
Donahue? Wasn't it?
Whoa, you can raise your eyebrow?
Who wrote it?
Yeah. That was
Emma Donahue?
No, wasn't her
Who the fuck is Emma Donahue? I don't know.
I don't know.
Who cares? Who cares?
Did your dad ever watch you getting railed?
Did he watch me get railed?
He came and saw you play hockey, I bet, right?
Well, no. Yeah, but him and I had a threesome once where we were in Vegas together and we went to one of those ranches.
That's so upsetting.
And we shared, we just like shared that experience together. And we went like tip to tip.
No, Mike.
No, he's not. Yeah,
I
poor Alison.
really don't know you well enough yet, man. I don't know you well enough. Like,
Yeah, so my
that
dad,
was
Steve
dry.
Glazer,
That was
and I,
super dry.
we had a threesome. I think her name was Marina.
Oh, no.
Or Maria N.
Steve Glazer, if you're listening to this.
Yeah, but I paid. Whatever, I paid. It's like it's like when the first time you can take your parents out to dinner and you foot the bill. This is the
You're like,
same
Dad,
thing.
It's on me.
It's
You
on
paid-
me.
Get
Yeah.
whatever you
Literally.
like.
Yeah.
Please. No. please get the brunette.
Oh,
and
that's
the
so
blonde.
funny.
It's on me.
You know what?
Absolutely.
Allison, that's a really funny bit to picture where like we just both had a threesome with someone at a sex worker, and then him and I are both putting our credit card on the thing and tugging it back and forth and being like, no, please. And then being like, no, please, you're my son. I've got this. And I'm like, no, you're my dad. This was so great. Let me, please. And she's just like sitting on the bed watching us hem and haw over the bill.
Oh my God. This whole thing is making my fucking...
You do that the really slow reach for the credit card.
Because you don't want to.
No, please.
No. Yeah.
Oh, you got it?
No, but you picked up lunch, I mean, I don't.
Oh my God. Have you smoked with your dad? Smoked weed with your dad?
I have, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a weird one because like he hadn't smoked since like the 70s or something, or the 80s, and then it was actually our first time in South Africa together in '94. My father's South African, so when we went there for the new South Africa, as soon as like we could, and it was amazing. Everyone was still celebrating in the streets like 3 months after then, and we were down in Grahamstown for the big international fringe festival, and it was like the first time it was open to all of Africa. It was an amazing moment in time, and a friend of my cousin in Johannesburg had given me like a bag of shake. Like seriously, there was like nothing in it, and so I took it with me on the plane. To Grahamstown.
Oh my God!
I know, and this is South Africa, which is like if you got busted there during that time, you could actually get whipped. I don't know. Anyways, they probably wouldn't do it to a tourist, but anyways, I don't know. So I had these pre-rolled shake cigarettes. And my dad and I were staying in these two houses near each other. And so we were in my backyard in the garden. I was like, hey, Dad, you want to smoke up? And he's like, okay, So we smoke it. And I didn't feel anything. And he got really, really chatty. And he just started sucking, going, chatting really hard. And it's just going for like a half hour. And he's talking about like how, inspired he is again to be back in South Africa. And he really wants to help make the country change. And he's I got to do it. And then he goes like, he just goes, ugh. I just watched like all the air go out of his body. He's like, I have to go. Like, oh, yeah, are you gonna go back to? I gotta go now. And I was like, well, do you want to? The car's just outside. It's like I can't drive. I'm like, it's a block and a half. He's like, I'm not gonna drive now. do you want me to walk? And he's like, no, I'm just gonna go. They just laugh. Oh God, yeah, no, that was hilarious. Oh well, you got him high, Jane. Didn't you guys get him high? Yeah, after Winter's Tale, and he smoked that whole big blunt that he thought was for one person, but it was for everybody.
Oh, that's right. That was such a fun cast. We had a great time.
Mary Jane.
Winter's Tale. Oh man, that was actually the show. I've talked about it on here before, where I was playing Perdita and I had eaten peanuts, and it was a tech costume day, and I was taken to the hospital in costume, and you came and found me in the hospital, I was still in costume, but you thought I was dead for a second because they'd like switched all the machines off.
No, it was so scary. I'd come and seen you. I came to you at Centaur. You didn't realize because you were out. And so I saw you getting pulled out on the stretcher. Mm-hmm. And then I followed you to the hospital. But by the time I got there, everything was off. It was just like...
And I was wearing this, I was in a beautiful costume. I actually bought it from the costume department. It was like this gorgeous silk gown. And I had my, my hair was all in ringlets. And I guess it was
ridiculous.
Ridiculously theatrical moment of, me
looked
potentially being dead.
Sleeping Beauty there, like, it's all pale with her little red lips and her tits, bouncing out,
My bouncy boobs.
Black hair and ringlets, And I'm like,
oh, jeez.
You're like, yeah, fine. Yeah, no, but she had a habit of, stupidly eating things with peanuts in it, a lot when we were younger. That wasn't the only time I was in a hospital with Jane.
You know what cured me of that? Moving to the United States, where I can't fucking afford to do that. I'm so careful here because I can't afford the ER bill because shit's crazy. Like if I went to the hospital for peanuts, I went once in New York and I had really good health insurance at the time, and then the next time I didn't have the good health insurance, and I was like, well, I only need to learn that lesson once. Like it's nuts.
Hey!
Are you allergic to anything, Mike?
No, nothing, actually. Well, that's not true. I just found out recently I was getting, do I want to, I guess I can reveal this. I have a cavity I have a cavity in my mouth on one of my teeth. I know that they're like nice and straight, but I do have one cavity, and I don't want TMZ to come for me, so maybe we might cut this place out. But when I was getting it filled at the dentist, they put a drop of Novocaine on it, and my tongue swelled up and my throat closed, and I turned bright red and broke into a cold sweat, and they were like, "What's wrong with you?" And I was like, "I can't breathe." And whatever medicine they were using on me to numb my tooth made me almost suffocate. And so they forced a Benadryl down my throat, and everything like subsided, and like whatever the antihistamine deal is, however science works, I was okay. And then since I was there, and they were like, "Well, do you still want to do it?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm good." And then they just like fixed my cavity with no Novocaine, and that was yeah. But I kind of like to see how far I can take it and see what I can stand. So it was a really good challenge as far as I was concerned. And when I could do it, and afterwards I felt really alive, and I felt like I had achieved something by, pushing through.
Do you know there's an entire torture scene in a movie about getting your dental work done with no anesthetic?
Marathon Man?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's an amazing scene.
I haven't seen it.
It's, Darvisa Angle. Have you ever seen that, Allison? It's a great movie. Anyway.
Yeah, I don't remember. It was very, very, very long.
Dustin
time
Hoffman,
ago,
fucking great movie.
I'm still just thinking about the damage that Mike is going to put upon himself in the next few years. Just imagining all the things you're going to be doing without painkillers.
We were at a cyborg magician's house, and she is full of amazing
I listened
implants.
to that podcast.
Yeah.
I listened to that.
Anastasia Sin.
Anastasia Sin. She's incredible. She's a great human, and she has like body hacked and modified her whole body.
Yeah.
She has like magnets and computers and chips and all that sort of stuff. And yeah, I was like, "Are you like? Is this something you're into?" Mike was like, "Yes,
very much."
I remember
so.
you saying that. I remember him saying that. Yeah.
There could be a moment when you are like putting pieces of metal into your body.
Yeah, I have microchips in my underwear drawer right now. Just like sitting there wrapped up. Yeah, I could implant them in my webbing of my thumb at any time. I just haven't yet, and I guess there's no great time to do it, but they're there. I just have to like lift up my hands.
Wow.
But you're not worried about like being hackable?
I think that's the first thought that I had too, and Anastasia says that that's not how it works. And
because you're not connected to a mainframe or anything, right? So
yeah.
like you have to be actually like they would have to connect to your piece of hardware specifically.
Yeah, I don't know. My big thing was MRIs because I don't need a microchip flying out of my hand like Wolverine's claws when I'm trying to get an MRI.
And also just airport security, right?
Yeah.
Well, I was thinking about airport security as well. Yeah, for sure, man. Like, if you think you have trouble now, with like.
Airport security, I'm not worried about because I always get a pat down. I refuse to go through the dick machine because I don't. Yeah, you know what? They came online too fast after 9/11. Those things were just sitting there in the cut, waiting to add extra security for no reason. And I don't trust them. I don't know if they give you cancer, and they were just kind of like, you have to do this now. And I was like, what are the ramifications of that? And they're like, well, I mean, we get to see your dick, and that's all we'll let you know about. So I always avoid them and get pat downs.
They get to see your dick?
Mm-hmm. They have to suck your dick. The TSA sucks your dick.
No! Stop.
Well, and you said no?
Yeah.
Understand.
And then they're like, we've got a problem guy over here.
No, they do.
This guy doesn't want to get his dick sucked. I don't know what the fuck, man.
Those body imagers, though, where you have to put your hands above and it scans your whole thing, it does actually show like your physical self under your clothing. I mean, it does show like, your boobs and your...
I thought it was looking more at like, it would see you kind of like in a more like a musculature and like more like an x-ray.
We don't know the truth.
It's kind of silhouette-y.
We don't know the truth.
Have you ever had an x-ray of your waist or your chest and you can kind of...
You can see like an outline.
Yeah.
But it's an outline. Oh yeah, I guess with the penis you could see like...
Hey, Ansel Elgort yesterday, if you haven't been on Twitter, he went viral on Twitter because there's him wearing like boxer shorts with an outline of his big dick.
Okay.
Just throwing it out there for anyone listening.
Anyone who wants to see Ansel Elgort's dick, go on Twitter. You know how I get through the airport security without them seeing my magnificent, parts? A dog.
Oh.
If you travel with an animal, they make you go through the part where they pat you down, and then they swab your hands to make sure that your dog isn't explosive.
Really?
every time. It's crazy.
Fucking what a move.
I know, Mr. Moo. He's my pass-through security.
Bringing your like exploding dog.
Oh my God, have you seen Tiger King?
No, not yet.
Okay, well,
Everyone's freaking out.
everyone is freaking
Tiger
out.
King.
I didn't want to watch it. Partly because I'm like anti anything that's popular most of the time, and also because I didn't think I could tolerate any cats just being hurt in any way. But I have to say,
that's how I feel.
Fucking worth it, fucking crazy, and it just gets crazier and crazier. And I've only seen 3 episodes, so I'm told that I have to buckle in for the rest. It's fucking nuts.
You know, it's strange. There's actually a fair few good things like just starting up now, like on Netflix and stuff. Like I've been hearing Orthodox is really good and stuff, and then
Likewise.
also on TV. Devs is like really interesting. Devs is like very, very cool. And then there's also A Plot Against America. You know about Plot Against America? Mm-mm. It's about basically like the idea that is, it's the guy who wrote Portnoy's Complaint. What's his name again?
Patton Oswalt.
Roald Dahl.
No. Very,
The
very
guy who
Noam
wrote...
Chomsky. Let's just say names.
Well, who wrote The Jungle?
Rudyard Kipling? The Jungle Book?
Is it Kipling?
No. It's not Kipling.
Anyways, The Plot Against America is...
Is it? Portnoy's Complaint?
Well, the Portnoy's
Mike, he's looking it up right now. It is Rudyard Kipling.
Not Portnoy's Complaint, no. But The Jungle Book is Rudyard Kipling, absolutely.
Yes.
Portnoy's Complaint is Philip
Pynchon.
Roth.
Philip Roth.
Basically, it's kind of like The Man on the High Castle by Philip K. Dick. It's like one of those... what if scenarios, and this one is what if Lindbergh, who was actually a famous anti-Semite. It's Philip Roth.
Yes.
Portnoy's Complaint. Yes.
Mike just said that.
Sorry.
It's okay.
I like pretending that you can't hear things because of a delay. That's a good move.
I just remembered. Yes.
It's Philip Roth. Philip Roth.
Philip Roth. Yeah, of course.
The worst.
The story is the idea that Lindbergh, who's a famous anti-Semite, the guy who, the plane guy, actually wins, becomes the president of America, and then like basically follows Hitler into war and never sends the Americans in, and and so basically what happens to America as they become the new Reich. Actually Winona Ryder's in it, strangely. And so like these people in New Jersey are like talking about trying to escape to Canada and stuff, and it's an interesting story.
What's going on, Mike?
Sorry, I'm just making sure that we were recording.
Oh.
That's crazy.
It is, yeah.
Do you have HBO?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Have you checked out the Watchmen series yet?
Oh, Watchmen's amazing.
It's amazing.
It's really good. At first, I was like, Don Johnson. I was like, there's a few things I was like, I don't know. And then suddenly it just went into like awesomeness. Yeah.
Yeah. That's immediately what I flashed on when you talk about like alternative history, like the way it could have gone.
Yeah.
President Robert Redford.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Man, I didn't know Charles Lindbergh hated the Jews. That's wild.
Same with Ford. I didn't know that Ford was such an anti-Semite. Totally.
Henry Ford?
Man. Yeah.
Really?
No, those of us within the tribe are not well adored.
Oh, wow. Fascinating.
That's fucking crazy.
What? Okay, go ahead, Mary. I mean, I feel like we're friends now, but this is your best friend.
This is fucking great. I'm having such a good time. I wasn't going to say anything specific.
I'm having such a good time.
It's so nice to hang out. I mean, it's like... Yeah. The one thing that this crazy pandemic has taught me is like a Zoom meeting can actually feel like you're really, truly with your friends. I feel like,
But what would have been even cooler was if you guys had come up for Just for Laughs, and then you could hang out and we could all party.
Mm-hmm. I just got an email 2 days ago from my manager where they were like, because I auditioned for Just for Laughs. It was my first year auditioning, and they said, we don't know what's going to happen with the festival, but callbacks are canceled at this time, and we are not going to New York, obviously, to hold auditions there. And it's supposed to be in May, right?
Yeah,
it's not
going to happen.
It's not fucking going to happen. So, in a way, I'm kind of like, oh my God, it was on my vision board to audition this year. It was my goal, and I wanted to do it, and I got to, and I was real happy with my audition. So I can like put that feather in my hat and call it macaroni. But it would have
Absolutely.
but it would have been pretty cool to get that call back or come visit
You know
you.
what it's Canadian macaroni, so it's macaroni.
Yeah.
Well, let's make it happen for next year, okay? Let's all like vision board that crap, and you guys can come and do like a Weed and Grub as part of like, and then Mike can do a set, and we can like hang out with like Hannibal Buress or whatever, and just do the whole
Whoop, whoop.
festival, yeah.
I'm like raising the roof.
Yeah. And I want to make something with you. Let's make some weird theater. Like, let's figure it out in some Zoom sessions and then like get together and actually like make a thing.
Oh, well, there's the prophecy thing, which you didn't do, by the way.
Oh, right. Because I'm a fucking, sorry. I forgot about that. Was
Mike,
there a
did she tell
deadline?
you about the prophecy? Yeah. it
No,
was like
let's
2
put
years
this on record.
Sorry.
So the Prophecy Project is something that Joseph Schrag, my co-artistic director, came up with, and it's basically we're going to kind of create a website with filled with short recordings of hey Archie Moo, of people giving their prophecies. So it's like little short videos, and we're going to do all the research into like the history of prophecy throughout the Bible, and Nostradamus and all that kind of stuff, but then also looking for a very contemporary kind of understanding of what prophecy can mean and how it can affect our lives. And so we're getting different writers and artists that we know around the world to kind of come up with these short little prophecies. And then we'll have this cool website where you can search for it all by keyword and whatever, and we'll find you can create yourself an interesting story by keyword groupings. So I asked Jane to do one for me. I'd love for you to do one for me too, Mike.
If Jane will do one, I'll do one.
That'd be amazing. So like you guys would be the test group, and then we're gonna like start figuring out how to make it work, and then we can apply for some of that wonderful Canadian grant money.
Yo.
And start a website and make it happen. And then by the end, hopefully young Jean Lee will be doing it for me,
Yeah.
That's
Hell yeah.
awesome.
Shout out young Jean Lee.
Man, it's so great to talk with
I
you
love
because
her.
you make shit. It's cool to talk to makers.
Yeah.
It's nice.
great?
Yeah.
Yeah, but you see, I'm Canadian, so I make it, but no one sees it. And then I don't want to tell anyone about it because I'm all embarrassed, I'm like, I kind of did something. And I don't know if you want to look at it.
Oh, yeah. You did something that won a bunch of fucking awards, so.
Yeah, this is my Nobel Prize, or I guess a bunch of people have them.
It's infuriating.
I mean, it's just the Nobel. I mean, they give it
Yes.
out to a lot of people.
They do it every year, so it's
No
not,
big deal.
Yeah.
Well, let's hang out again soon. This was so fucking fun.
Please, I would love to be your backup call any day, okay?
All right.
Anytime someone cancels on you, just be like, Alison, yo.
Our fucking Montreal connection, our Montreal correspondent. So before you go,
Yes.
can we ask you as a Montreal correspondent to give us a picture of just what the cannabis scene is like since it went legal federally across Canada? Because I haven't been home since that happened in October of 2018. What's it like? I mean, I know like one of our friends actually is a delivery person, and so like
a lot
working
of
in
our
the
friends.
working in the what we now call the legacy market, and that's like
Oh,
I've gotten a clear picture of what that whole scene is like, and it's still thriving, which is interesting. But what's your snapshot of it?
I mean, to be honest, I'm not a smoker anymore. It's my partner who's the smoker now. So I just, figured out it just wasn't working well for my body anymore. I'm actually kind of interested in looking back into hash now and seeing how that works for me.
That's such a Canadian thing to say. Like in America, it'd be like, oh, I'm wondering like CBD or whatever. And you're like, I'm trying to figure out what hash might do.
Yeah,
it's great.
so true.
Yeah, it's very Montreal. Awesome.
Oh, is it? Yeah, no, because I used to be a hash head back in the day, and now I'm like, I'll try it again.
Yeah, that's what we called you, Hash Head Allison.
No, it's not. Was that when you hated me? Where you're like, oh, fucking hash head Allison's bag.
That's your fucking.
hell.
That's your name. We're Pie Viking, Cream Pie Mary, and Hash Head Allison. That sounds like a fucking fun gang to hang with.
That's a fun hang.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. I mean, definitely the legacy market's it's thriving just as much as it ever did. And we have the stores, which are generally either full or out of stuff. And the prices at the stores are a lot cheaper than legacy stuff, so some people are going there, but the quality is usually lower, I think. And we're not as into like all the kind of fancy doodahs that you guys have with all your vapes and your different instruments of ingestion. Like I'm not. There's so many different ways to ingest the flower. In California, and we're more just interested in like I think getting it inside, just like put it in me.
Yeah, there's a weird thing that I learned about the Canadian legal weed market, which is that there's cannabis oil, but it's actually not. Oil here is for dabbing, like cannabis concentrates are for putting on an e-nail or a rig of some kind and dabbing. And in Canada, cannabis oil is for ingesting, like you actually take it in oral form.
Yeah. Huh.
So it's a different. So don't go to Canada and buy oil and then try and dab it because that will suck.
I mean, people. I haven't seen. I mean, there's dabs. I've seen a lot more dabs in like in BC. Here, I see more like. I mean, there's shatter and stuff, but like usually it's still just like buying the flower and. I think
how much is it? How much is it?
Old school.
When the FBI drops it off at your place, how much does it cost?
You mean CSIS? When CSIS drops it off on mounted police, a horse, they come
horse
in.
Delivery? Stop.
Horse delivery, yeah. And it's like
here's your weed.
Like here's your weed, and poser, and you hear that sound, you're like.
Instead of ease, which is the delivery
horse.
Here, it's called like trot pot.
Trot pot, yeah.
What's that? What's trot pot?
Trot pot would be a delivery by horse in Canada.
Oh, you just made that up.
Yeah. Trot pot.
That was excellent. You totally got. I was like, whoa, what's trot pot? That's excellent.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a little horseshoe with a weed leaf in the middle. Come on.
Oh my God, we got the logo, we got everything.
Gotta happen.
So, but it'd be like the Saint Bernard comes with the little, thing around its neck, like with the little alcohol, but it's a little weed leaf. But it's just miniature ponies. Sorry, okay.
That's so funny.
Let's go. I gather that the online stuff is somewhere between $7 and $8 a gram, and I'd say the legacy is still around 10.
That's
Canadian.
Awesome.
Which is more or less
like $2 American.
It's less. It's always been less. It's the Canadian
less.
dollar is always it's slightly usually around 80 cents to the dollar. Somewhere around there. It's gone. I remember at one point it went like down to like in the low 70s at one point, and then at one point for like a little
like
while it was
almost
stronger.
$1.
Yeah, it was great.
There was like one day I think it was like $1.01, and we were all like, "We got him!"
Yeah.
It was like 1812 all over again. We're like, "Burn the house down!"
Yeah.
I don't know if do you know that, Mike, that we burnt down the White House?
What?
Now, no Americans know about this. So the Canadians...
There was a whole war called the War of 1812.
My history book is
about
only filled with U.S. victories and how great we are.
Yeah.
So, like, Christopher Columbus, like, saved America. Like, it's a very skewed education system here.
Yes.
So I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, the Canadian forces, I believe it was the French, actually, but, as the Canadians burned the White House down in 1812.
Do you have a White House too in Canada? Or are you talking about ours?
The American White House.
Yeah.
Burned it.
We burned
Canada. Canada did that.
What the
Take
fuck?
that!
Damn, y'all.
I think in the American history books it's called the Indian French War or something, the French Indian War.
Oh, so it was the French Canadian. Is that the idea? French Canadians burned down the White House?
French Canadians and First Nations people, and we burnt your house down.
Oh, it's called The Burning of Washington here on Wikipedia. And it was a British invasion of Washington. We can post something in the show notes if people want to do more.
Y'all burned us down.
But there was a Canadian victory on American soil. And
they always say we never lost a war on American soil. I'm like,
That's wild. That's wild. That's like a kettle. Like, y'all just like, you bury it deep down inside you, and then you just like burn our house down.
That's the thing. You got to watch out for us, because I had a friend who used to love ribbing me about being Canadian, and he went for years without me ever really doing much other than being like, come on. And then one day he went too far, and I had like a complete fucking meltdown. We were on vacation together at the time, and we were like at a beach house, and he said something to me on the beach, and he was like, well, it's just like Canada, it's America's hat. And I lost the fucking plot, and I was like, and I went back to the house and I slammed a bunch of doors and I like wouldn't come out of my room. And he was like, "What's your problem?" And I was like, "Fucking years. Do you know how long I've been like taking this? I've taken it from you over and over and over and over again."
We're not your hat, you're our ass.
Yeah, I was like, America's a fucking fanny pack of Canada as far as I'm concerned. Anyway, it was like a famous meltdown where he was like, "Okay, so MJ has a temper. It comes at real weird times. That was awkward, and you made everything terrible." And I was like,
it's like pushing Tom Hanks until he like bullies you or something. like you push Tom Hanks and then
yeah,
Richie
it wasn't a good
Cunningham,
look.
like we're like Rich and Cunningham with like a knife.
It was real bad. I was it was a bad look. But anyway, so don't call Canada America's hat.
Damn, y'all. This is real.
Look, we're nice, but we're not weak, and that's what Trudeau said. Remember, like he's like, don't mistake our niceness for meekness. Like we're polite, but we'll kick your ass.
Fuck yeah.
We have to, you know what I mean?
Fuck yeah.
That's a good note to end on.
Yeah.
We're polite, but we'll kick your ass.
Yeah.
Um,
Hey guys,
Thank you so much for hanging out.
Fun.
Did you say you're baking challah right now?
Holla? Yeah, we are.
You got to stop doing that.
Why? That's fun. Whoop whoop. Yeah.
Holla.
Oh my god, amazing.
Will you hit us with a bread pick?
Okay. I mean, if it's good. If it's not,
Word.
I'm really not good. Yeah.
But before you jump off, will you just tell everyone where they can find everything you do, your work, your theater company, all that stuff, handles, websites?
Oh, see, that's like a whole American thing that I don't do. So I mean, we have scapegoatcarnivale.com, which is our website. Carnivale is with an E at the end. And that's pretty much it. I mean, like, we do have a Twitter thing, but I never do anything with it.
Okay. Well, we'll
There's
put it
an
in the show
Instagram
notes.
that you can kind of look at, but I don't know. So
Yeah.
just go to the website. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's it. I really should get my shit together.
Do you have an Instagram also?
I mean, I think I do. I don't remember.
God bless. You're so free.
It's at
beautiful.
the Alison Darcy, I believe. I don't know. We'll see if we can link to it.
That's my Twitter, the Alison Darcy. I think that's my Twitter.
Okay, we'll put
But
things in
don't write to me.
the
I'm
notes.
not going to write you back. I don't send
Okay.
anything. I don't know.
Jesus. Okay. Sorry.
Leave me alone.
Bye. Don't write to me.
Remember because Jane, remember when I wrote for you for High Times?
Yes, that's right.
So I was Jane's horoscope. I was her astrologer when she was the awesome editor of the art section, entertainment section of High Times. So little me who has no experience, but whatever. Yeah, I was writing the horoscopes, and I had like a horoscope name. I called myself like Elie Calin, which is like Allison, and a Calin is a hug in French. Anyway, and people would like write to me, and I didn't know what to do. I'm like, I don't know what to say. And then that woman from that show wrote to me. She was like, "Oh, do you want to be on the Bong show, or the Bon Appetit?"
Yeah.
And I missed it entirely. I missed the whole thing. I didn't.
I don't know if I knew that. You were asked to be on Bon Appetit because of your work as an astrologer for High Times. That's fucking dope.
Wow.
It was you were so good at that, by the way, because I remember when I was given the opportunity to start an astrology column at High Times, and I was the culture editor, and we were like, oh, that's a thing right now. And I reached out to one person who turned in one column, and it was just like not what we were looking for at all. And then I was like, well, my friend Allison's an amazing writer, knows her stuff about weed, and knows how to put the two together. And she wrote this like awesome, where each month was paired with a strain.
Amazing.
And it was like a lot of like weed metaphors and weed puns, but they were really good and really in depth. And you like took it so fucking like seriously, like you made it such a cool thing. I wonder if you can still look those up online.
Let's see if we can find one and we'll add it.
I was inspired by Rob Bresney, so I just wanted everything to be like a little anecdote, and then I started running out of things to say, so I'd start coming up with things like every month would have a different theme, like everything was a goddess or a god, or the next theme it was, I don't know, whatever. It was great.
You were so good at it.
You gave me that job, first of all, saved my ass financially, and it also, I think made me a lot better of a writer, because I had 2 years of writing every week. And it got me in practice, so I totally owe that to you, little one.
Oh, well, I'm so glad that worked out. You were such a fucking great writer, and a great director, and a great actor, and a great friend. Meow, meow, meow. Meow.
I'm melting.
Okay, all right. I love you.
I love you too. Okay.
I love your
Mike.
face.
Mike, you're amazing. So
Great to meet
happy
you.
Belated birthday, man. Happy belated.
Thank you. Mary Jane's is on the 5th. Here we go.
I know.
Everybody knows. I've been trumpeting it from the rooftops. Yeah.
If anybody wants to find us, we are at Weed & Grub on Instagram. We can go to weedandgrub.com to find out who we is, what we do, and where we be. WG@weedandgrub.com is our email. That's WG@weedandgrub.com. If you want to hit us up, ask us any questions, give us a 5-star review on iTunes, leave a nice review. Alison Darcy, this has been cool as fuck.
Thank you for hanging. I love you so much.
Thank you
Awesome.
so much, guys.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye, everybody.
Mwah. Bye.